against borrowing. Even the greatest countries in the world, America, Japan, China, all are big borrowers. But they borrow for physical, tangible, and accountable projects that you spread and pay over time.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name remains Alexis Omian, aka Oriman in Canada. Please, you are welcome to my YouTube channel. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, Oriman in Canada. Kindly like, share, and comment. As you do so, God will bless you in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. So today, I want to just make some reactions about the interview of Senator Ali Ndume on Arise TV. So I want to just make some reaction, just to give some comment. And this interview, I go play am for now. We're gonna see how Tinubu, the drug baron, the illegal president, I don't destroy the country. You know, so when they just say Nigeria, the current Nigeria problem, now only revolution might go solve the problem. So that all these old cargo, all those ones will be say they don't steal the country. You understand? They don't thief the resources, everything. They don't accumulate them, or themselves, all those things. So they'll be captured. You understand? So those resources, all those things, they will not take them for all of them. They not give it back to the country. You understand? So that's the only way, Nigeria go feel better. As I'm talking to you now, you know, say Bola Tinubu, this illegal president, he didn't even follow the constitution again. He's not following the constitution, the rule of law. He didn't follow the rule of law again. You know, say before you borrow any money, you have to seek approval first from the House of Senate. So that the House of Senate go look, okay, what you do this money to do? Then they go know whether they go approve it for you or not. But now, currently, what they tell you now, say, see what I do my talk. The guy is the top senator in the House of Senate. See all the money we to say Tinubu don't borrow so far. Every day, now I say Tinubu they borrow money, different kind of amount of money, different kind of different names. Now you see they borrow the money. As of Senate, they not even they are aware. That is, all the money when they borrow now, it don't even they go as of Senate. You understand? For approval. So you know, now just write like this, but tell them say they write, it does say now they don't give her the money. So don't be say borrow not go, but if you want to borrow, you have to borrow for infrastructure purpose, for developmental purpose, because definitely that money you say you borrow, you must pay over the time. And this not be free, it's not free. But the way they say they borrow now, they borrow money for chop, borrow money. When they borrow the money finish and they go steal them. You understand? Till they reach themselves. So what they will just say they want to use the money to do, then they do them. As they borrow the money, they go steal the money. All those the Tinubu, the Senate president, we kill of them, they go steal the money. Now they use it, they bribe and they bribe judges, say those things. So Nigeria is finished. And let me tell you, what I already talk about. I said the only problem that the only way Nigeria problem can be solved now, what we see the final just revolution. All those old cargo, those ones, now to capture them, all which they don't steal for the country, they will now retrieve it from them and give it back to the country. Then new fresh blood will come up in the system. So it's a shame. Bola Tinubu is the worst president so far. President will be say, you know, they follow Senate, you know, they follow Constitution, you know, they follow Senate, you know, they follow rule of law. Nothing. Like you say, it's just borrowing money to enrich himself and the family, all those stuff. The politicians, all of them, he borrow money, they share money. That's what they are doing now. See, check out what Ali Ndume talk for Arise. I did not borrow billions of dollars and without no tangible thing. Okay, saying that this will not be the tangible reason we make them they borrow the money. They borrow the money, they chop, borrow the money, they steal them. Borrow the money, they accumulate them. When they go use to buy votes, when they use to bribe INEC, when they use to bribe security agencies. So the country is finished. The country has collapsed. Nigeria, the truth with all these people. So Nigeria has to stand up. You see this Ali Ndume, this Senator Ali Ndume, now APC member. You understand? So the man get the boldness, come to say this thing not good, because that's why I say Hausa people, Hausa people see them the best in Nigeria. Because Hausa people, they see this straightforward, small, pass other tribes, like all those Yoruba, all those things. Hausa people see this straightforward. You know, see this man, can a Yoruba man come out, say Yoruba senator come out, come talk with him, this Ali Ndume talk. Even when Buhari day, the man was very outspoken. You understand? All those things when we say, they say what they do, we say not good. If they come, they talk and boldly to them. You understand? That's why I say, Hausa people, they are still the best. They are still the best people in Nigeria. And if they give them opportunity, all those things, they go, also they get soft arts compared to those our Yeye people. So that's the thing. So just check out. You go listen to Arise TV, listen to Ali Ndume, the APC senator. See what he talk about Tinubu, Bola Tinubu, rule of law, everything. You need to obey him again. You could just go borrow money without approval, nothing. At this point, the money say they go pay back. So I go stop here. Make you listen to her. Make you see how this APC government, how they destroy Nigeria. Nigeria is never as bad as this. Nigeria is never. Look at me. If you make go Nigeria, when you go see people, they suffer. See suffering. Nigeria is never as bad since I was born. Even when they say PDP, everything, Nigeria is never as bad as this. Nigeria is never as worse as this. It's terrible. Even to feed, no job, nothing. They borrow money, they steal. They borrow money, when they borrow the money, they go steal them. And me, I want to appeal. I don't know what I go talk. I don't know how the kind of grammar go use to speak now. To those people, they borrow their money. They should stop borrowing them money. You understand? All those countries where you see they borrow this APC government, this Bola Tinubu, this criminal government, they should stop borrowing more money, because those money, they steal them. You understand? Then they used to the bribe INEC, then they used to the rig election, then they used to the brutalize people, then they use different type of things, till they buy votes, all those things. So that's what they use. They're not using it for development of Nigeria. You understand? So you listen to Ali Ndume, listen to on Arise, make you see what thing he talk about Nigeria, how Tinubu don't use borrowing to destroy Nigeria. The country is finished. Why do you want to take that money? Those money we see that they borrow those things. Why I don't want to use TPM? Nigeria itself, even the crude, what did they talk now? The crude now not get value again. The only source of Nigeria revenue, which is the crude, not get value. How would they pay those money? You see, so listen to Ali Ndume. Make you hear what he talk for Arise. So I would like to stop here. My name remains Alexis Omian, aka Wariman in Canada. So kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, Wariman in Canada. Kindly like, comment. As you do so, God will bless you. So listen to Arise and listen to Ali Ndume. What he talk about the illegal borrowings of Bola Tinubu, the illegal presidents, and the APC governments in Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you.
Counters, which is that brings me to the other issue that you have raised, which is the very high borrowing by the Tinubu government that's taken place over the last 20 months or so. And to be fair to you, it's not just you. Several leading economists, chambers of commerce, etc., have also expressed concern over the rising debt. How serious a situation does this look like from your point of view as a senator? How much of a national crisis is it?
Well, let me first of all say that I'm not against borrowing. Even the greatest countries in the world, America, Japan, China, all are big borrowers. But they borrow for physical, tangible, and accountable projects that you spread and pay over time. But my worry is not even in the borrowing, it's what you borrow for. Let me give you quickly a rundown of what I checked. You see, in June 2023, $500 million was borrowed for women program to scale up what they call NPWPSC. Can you see that? Can Nigerians see it? Where are the women? Then on June 23rd, the same day, $800 million was borrowed to cushion the impact of high petrol prices after fuel subsidy removal. How? Where? Then on September 23rd, 2003, under the same government, $700 million was borrowed again for Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment. Then, on December 23rd, the same thing, $750 million borrowed through what they call renewable energy scale-up. Then June 2024, $1.5 billion was borrowed to support Nigeria's reform for economic stabilization to enable transformation.
That one sounds very spurious, I have to be honest.
Okay, you see? Then in June 24th, $750 million again was borrowed for immediate financial and technical support for efforts to stabilize economy and to scale up support to the poor and most economically at risk. Then on September,
Well, they would argue that particular one that they've been making payments to a lot of poor people.
Where are the poor people?
Some of their cash transfers and things like that.
Look, whenever you're doing something, if it is true, somebody will come out to say thank you.
But are these loans, are they approved by the National Assembly? I mean, do they pass through your Senate for
No,
approval?
what passes through the Senate so far as this is these are itemized.
Right, the bulk of it passes
No, the bulk.
through.
You don't pass the bulk. You pass the itemized. If, for example,
Right.
before.
So were all these itemized
No,
things approved?
not to my
so you're
knowledge.
saying they're extra?
Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge.
Because
not
I
extra.
know that
Because such amount, the medium-term expenditure framework.
right.
It's something that they bring and we look at and maybe approve it, but that is not to say it's a blanket.
So you're saying
approval.
these things have bypassed the National Assembly?
That is it so
The
far.
reason I say that is that I know that in November 2024, the Senate approved 1.7 trillion naira or something to that effect that the government had requested, which is several.
No, it's not. Just get it
billion
clear. Before you
dollars.
pass the budget annually, there's the midterm expenditure framework
Right.
that must come before the National Assembly for approval. These are the things that the government is anticipating to spend, but that is not to say that even if it is approved, it's a blanket approval. No.
Right.
Every item, every of this
Must be accounted.
Yes,
Right.
no, because we need to ask questions. How are you going to do that? How is it important? And when is the money? What are the terms? All these things are supposed to be discussed first before you engage in it. That is the National Assembly approval. But as I said, when you total these borrowings, the figure I got here is about $9.45 billion, which translates to about 13 trillion. And as I said, I mentioned most of them. These are items that are either intangible, those items it has nothing to do with infrastructure. I would have supported, for example, that the country is borrowing even more than that to build our infrastructures, to build railway,
Right.
to build our
But you're
roads.
saying that these things that you're mentioning,
Yes.
they're not tangible things.
They are not
that you can
tangible things
hold on
that you can hold on to,
Right.
and these are things that you pay in the next 40, 50 years.
Yeah,
that
but you-
time we are going, our children would. Are you going to tell my child? Am I going to tell my child or grandchildren that we borrowed 700 million and we are paying in 20, 30 years for Adolescent Girls Initiative?
Yeah, but you have to remember something, and that is the fact that human capital is an essential, in fact, probably some would argue the most essential part of development. That
That's
if you
right.
don't develop
But-
human
but-
capital,
but let me tell you.
then you're not actually going to go anywhere.
Nigeria, fortunately, have enough human capital that we need to tap in. Remember, Charles, including yourself, you only don't provide service in Nigeria, but you also
You're always pointing me. I don't understand.
No,
I'm
but
going to
because you are
have to
the,
go after
the
you
closest
personally.
person to me. You are serving in Nigeria as one of the best journalists, And because of your performance, you are working with the BBC, isn't it? Or you go part-time there to provide service with other organizations. We have the human capital or human resources, so to say. It's just to harness it.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe that you are acting in accordance with your best principles as a senator and a member of the ruling party by these whistleblowing actions that you're taking, and that you are preserving the rule of law in Nigeria?
Yeah, right. But let me correct that. You see, I'm a bona fide member of APC. In fact, one of those that signed onto the initial formation of APC. And Nigeria is my country. And as I said, I don't have any other country.
Well, you've made that point emphatically, and I always get worried when you start going in that direction.
Because I promise not to touch you again.
But let me ask you, because we're running out of time. Time has been galloping ahead. I mean, how does all this, because I remember, I noticed you mentioned somewhere about 2027. Does all this play into 2027?
I hear them talking about 2027 all the time, but for me, I'm not. I'm talking about today and at most tomorrow. I'm 65. I thank God for my life. All these people shouting about 2027, they don't believe in God. Because 2027 is a year ahead. And we don't know whether Ndume is going to be alive then or even the president. And they are busy shouting about 2027.
Yeah,
they have not
finished.
Ahead. Wait now, we have not finished with the mandate. We are just 2 years. In fact, until next month, the president is not 2 years old. And you are talking about 2027. Let him finish. By the time the president is performing very well and Nigerians are happy, nobody will come and start talking about competing with Mr. President. It will be automatic. But as it is now, they keep on talking nonsense as far as I'm concerned. Because, as I said, three things will determine whether this government is going to succeed or not. One is security. Two is welfare of its citizens. And three, that is related to the welfare, is the economy itself. If it is not performing, then you can go and be talking nonsense. It will not work.
Let me ask you a final question. Why does it appear to be only you, of the many senators in the National Assembly, including members of the opposition, who draws attention to these alleged excesses? Does that suggest that all the others are complicit in these violations?
No, that is not. I'm Mohammed Ali Ndume. God created me differently, and I'm going to account for my actions. If everything is to go the way I want, there would have been only one person in the Senate, and that's me. But that is not. So we have 109 of us, different senatorial districts, different makeup. God does not create two persons at a time. So I cannot speak, and I cannot say my colleagues, but let me tell you, I have the support of the people, including my colleagues. The only difference is that they can't come out and take the bullet the way I do.
They don't have the guts.
They don't have, not that they don't have the guts, but they are always thinking that something will come. No, not me.
On that note, I have to say that the intrepid Senator Ali Ndume, it's always a pleasure having you here. He is